Hello and welcome to Montclair News Lab. I'm Ryan Breda. Here's what's coming up on this week's episode. A special roundtable on what students miss the most.
The friends I made doing that's definitely a memory I'm going to keep.
And later, on the lighter side, one of our reporters attempts to locate the Holy Grail, a PlayStation 5.
Are you ever going to have them in store or is it always going to be online?
Probably like at the end of the year, just to be honest with you.
All this and more on Montclair News Lab. This month marks the anniversary of the pandemic lockdown. Using clips from Montclair News Lab, we take a look back of what campus was like 1 year ago today.
As March 2020 began, students were walking the campus, raising their hands in classes, singing in theaters, and eating in the student center. While campus was buzzing with excitement for spring break, trouble was on the horizon. A virus originating from Wuhan, China, was spreading. It was called the coronavirus.
So we don't really know how it's going to behave. We don't know exactly how it's transmitted. We don't understand why some people get so sick from it.
As March 6th, the beginning of spring break rolled around, the coronavirus came to New Jersey. Spring break was extended, and anxiety was high.
I'm not planning on going anywhere with this virus going on.
Families in New Jersey and elsewhere were in danger. Tensions were high, and there was a lot to fear. But Montclair News Lab did a piece about MSU student predictions.
After the COVID-19 pandemic will be drastically different, especially for the younger generation. I feel like they will have a difficult time interacting socially.
We're kind of just going to get used to our crazy regular lifestyle once we get back in the groove of things.
University leadership was confident we'd get through it.
Our job, working together, is to deliver the university and its students safely through this crisis and into the future.
With those encouraging words from President Cole, the semester came to a close. COVID-friendly graduations took place and started the summer off with a glimmer of hope.
We promised we would celebrate your achievements as soon as the governor said it was safe enough to gather in person, and here we are.
Despite a smaller number of cases in the summer, when the fall semester came around, hope began to fade. Remote classes became the standard, and as winter began, all were feeling lost once again.
Sorry, I'm worried about the coronavirus.
After Christmas break, the start of the spring semester was postponed, and spring break was canceled. And then, good news, vaccines began to roll out.
I'm announcing that I will direct all states, tribes, and territories to make all adults, people 18 and over, eligible to be vaccinated no later than May 1.
In-person classes began to pick back up, along with life on campus. Performers returned to the stage, athletes to the gym, and students to the classroom, all done safely.
The university that stands when we get there is focused and strong, thinner than it was, but healthy and secure in the continuation of our mission.
A difficult year that no one will forget. The troubles we never thought would end may now be in the rearview mirror. From Montclair News Lab, I'm Bernice Degwa.
It was a year to remember for sure. Up next, reporter Louise Ellers led a conversation with a few Montclair State students about campus life last year and what they missed the most.
Thanks, Ryan. Today I'm joined by freshman Zach Menendez and junior Amanda Ruiz. Today we are going to talk about the student experience at Montclair State University during the COVID-19 pandemic. Amanda, you're currently in quarantine right now. Could you tell us about that?
I'm okay. I only have the symptoms of a headache and fatigue, but I don't necessarily have coughing fits, and I can still taste and smell. It's very lonely in quarantine. I FaceTime my mom 3 times a day. My roommates and I all group FaceTime, and sometimes they will join together on one phone, and I have to sit there and talk to them and act like it's fine and I'm up in my apartment. I don't recommend being in quarantine here. My food is sent to me at scheduled times, like a prison. So it's not the best.
Amanda, what do you do to stay connected socially on campus?
When I used to live in Hawks, one day we had an Among Us tournament over Zoom with all the RAs, and that was like pretty fun. Like I didn't get to see people in person, but it was still nice to like talk to other people and like see who lives like across the hall from us and stuff.
I remember someone had the idea of having a Smash tournament, and I actually am pretty good at that. So I remember a bunch of people showed up to it, and it was amazing because it was funny to see how many people came together for a single event. That because no one has really been to any events because they've all been canceled. The friends I made doing that, that's definitely a memory I'm going to keep.
Every year, Montclair State does a spring week. Amanda, what's your experience with that?
I've only had one spring week. That's because my sophomore year I would have had one and then COVID happened. But my one spring week I remember was so much fun. They had one day it was Mr. Softy and like blow up obstacle courses. I was having a lot of fun even though I really hurt my ankle on one of them.
It reminds me a lot of like the county fairs they would have near my area where there would be the blow up obstacle courses, all the food, and it reminds me a lot of home because of that. So I would have to say, doing all the activities, especially the obstacle courses, I'm always really competitive in that. So I would actually look really forward to having a weekend like that.
Thanks to the both of you for coming and sharing your experiences today.
Nursing homes were one of the worst hit places by COVID-19 across the tri-state area. Let's take a look back at a story we covered 1 year ago.
Teresa DeLauro is a recreational therapist at Hamilton Park Nursing and Rehabilitation Center in Brooklyn. She's been working on floors filled with COVID patients and has been trying to keep their spirits up.
I know that everyone's always asking how we're feeling, how their families are feeling, but they are scared because they don't know what's going on outside. They haven't seen their family members in over a month.
But with Teresa's help, patients are still able to connect with their loved ones.
I go into residents' rooms, I FaceTime with the families, I'll take a picture of their loved one with a sign saying, I miss you, or I want to hug you, or whatever the case may be.
For Teresa's own safety, her fiancé, my cousin Rosario Rizzo, asked her to pause working during the pandemic.
I would tell her sometimes not even to go into work, call out sick, or just don't, take a vacation day or something because it was nerve-wracking.
But Teresa continued to go to work.
If it was just me working, I would say, okay, I'll quit. It's who's going to do those FaceTime calls?
Why does Teresa risk her health? Here's why. It's all about this, sending a COVID patient home.
Here with us today is Teresa DeLauro, about 1 year since we last spoke with her. Teresa, how has the last few months compared to the beginning of the pandemic in your facility when we first spoke with you?
The past few months have been a lot better compared to last year this time. Last year this time we had no PPE. We didn't know what was happening. We didn't know how long this would last. And now this year we have, a little bit more guidance. We're understanding it a little bit better. We have a vaccine. And it seems to me that we have it a little bit more under control. I want to make them smile as much as they can. I want to be there for them as much as I can because it's rough. It's really rough for these residents.
It's been a tough time for everyone this year. Thank you for joining us again, Teresa.
The campus reported 42 new COVID cases this week amongst the 20,000-person student body. This is over 3 times the amount of cases from the week prior. Montclair's COVID rates are still considered low when compared to other universities of a similar size around the country. On the good news side, the university is reporting that over 1,500 people from Montclair State have had at least 1 dose of the vaccine so far. Cases of COVID have also led to the postponement of the New Jersey Athletic Conference's Women's Basketball Championship game against New Jersey City University. This is now moved to April 3rd. Now to Jack Bartek from the Red Hawk Sports Network with your sports news.
Even in a normal season, college football is a year-round commitment. That is more true than ever this year as the Redhawks take the field this spring. Thanks to our partners at the Redhawks Sports Network, we take a look behind the curtains at how Coach Rick Giancola has kept his men prepared for such an odd year. John Kosoban has the story.
Redhawks football is officially back, as the program is one of 9 fall sports that have been granted a season this semester. In 2019, the team went 6-4, good for 3rd in the NJAC. This year, though, they'll only have 3 regular season games. Head coach Rick Giancola, entering his 38th season in that role, talked to us about his approach to the unique schedule.
This would be just the same as if we had a 10-game, 12-game, 15-game schedule. It doesn't matter. The next game always becomes the most important game. And once Saturday is finished and you've played and you've had a chance to digest everything and you look at the films on Sunday, when Monday comes, time to think about the next opponent.
Every game will certainly be important for senior quarterback Jaquil Birch, who torched the NJAC for a conference-leading 2,311 yards in 2019. For Birch, what he's learned off the field is just as valuable.
How to be a better human. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the game scores or the wins. It's about being around your team and be a better teammate. I think that's what it's taught me.
Another standout for this squad is junior defensive back Brennan Ray, a second-team All-NJAC who tied for the team lead in interceptions last season with 4. Speaking to us, he gave credit to the team's coaching staff for his success.
To be completely honest, it's not me. It's, the people around me, and my coach put me in the right position to be there. Obviously, it does take a little bit of talent to, make the plays and make more out of it, but the scheme and the game plans we have behind what we do really puts me in those positions, and I look to double that this year.
Although short, this upcoming season has a chance to be a memorable one, and a challenge both players and coaches are more than ready to tackle.
It's very difficult. I've never coached a season, and I've been coaching a long time. I never coached a year like this before.
We want to win. We want to show the rest of the league that we're young, but we're ready to play. We're all bigger, better, stronger, and looking to win the NJAC.
This year, it seems like almost everyone is trying to get the new PlayStation 5. Let's go along with Alex Grabiak as he tries to score his very own system.
Look, 5 million of these things have been sold, so if anyone can buy one, why not me? I have the New Jersey determination. I come from a place where we argue about processed ham, and other people pump my gas. I'm gonna go to 4 major retailers. I'm gonna go to Walmart, Best Buy, Target, and GameStop. All right, so we made it to our first location. We're at Best Buy. Bow before the PlayStation 5. I want you. I want you. Bro, do you see my body? Like, does it look like I play Ring Fit Adventure? Maybe we should start.
Are you ever gonna have them in store, or it's always gonna be online?
Probably like at the end of the year in the store, to be honest with you.
No, I believe in young Walton, so maybe we can get it here. Hi, do you guys have any PlayStation 5s in stock?
Nah, we only sell those online.
What happens if I gave you a $20 bill?
Take it, but we don't got it.
You sure? I mean, Mr. Jackson's pretty fun. You sure? So I just got back from GameStop. They said that if you look on their Twitter account, follow them, and then they'll make an announcement of when they'll be in person. I'm there now. I got the bread. I want to buy a PlayStation 5, and just let me buy one. We are at the most sophisticated of all places. We're at a Target. This might be the closest I ever get to the PlayStation 5 today. Just read that sign that says they don't have any in stock. They don't got any in Target. Well, that didn't go so well. It's not like online isn't an option because I don't want to sign off on a loan to buy a PS5. However, only one man can solve my dilemma, and he isn't your average Joe. On February 25th, President Biden signed an executive order looking into the shortage of semiconductor chips and large capacity batteries, which would increase the supply of PS5s. From Montclair News Lab, I'm Alex Grabiak.
Be sure to keep up with Montclair News Lab by following us on all of our socials. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Montclair News Lab. Thank you so much for watching. We hope to see you next week for another episode. Until then, I'm Ryan Breda. Stay safe, everyone.